Hi guys, how are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video, which is a little bit of a different one today. Carrying on from the themes of videos that I've done in the past. I've only done like a few of these in the past, and I've done like a recent one on like Valentino in terms of like diving into like companies and stuff, which I find interesting to do, and I'm totally taking inspiration from the YouTube channel Company Man, as well as like CNBC, Business Insider and stuff like that. If you don't watch Company Man, he's American based and does really good like deep dives into the rise of such and such, the rise and fall, the rise, such and things like that, and like the history of brands and things, not particularly to do with shops and stuff, but some shops, but also other brands and like restaurants and stuff like that. So he is really the inspiration behind this. It has way more like subscribers and stuff, but so good videos. But if you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Matt. We do this kind of video, but we normally do like come shop with me's hauls, grocery hauls, too good to go bags. So if that's your kind of thing, then definitely take a moment to subscribe to this channel, ring my bell to be notified of when I upload, and click the button down there to subscribe, and then ring the bell to be notified. And hopefully I'll have some more. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I'll do some more coming soon. But today's video is based on Primark. Now, I do have a little bit of a bias towards Primark. It's one of my regular haunts because of its affordability and stuff like that, but I want to go into a little dive into the company. So I'm going to touch on 5 points today, and I'm going to do the history of Primark on YouTube, because we are on YouTube as a platform. I wanted to go through that, the ethics, the reluctance of online, and then what the future holds or may hold, like predictions and stuff. And anything that I say, if it is not backed up with like sources and things, which all my sources will be linked down below, and I might say them out loud as well, will be alleged, and I'll say like stuff that's my opinion and things, so that you have a critical view and taking into account of biases and stuff like that. And it was bin day today. If you can hear bin people in the background, that is what it is. But we are going to first start off. I just need a sip of water before we get going. So I'm going to start off with the history first. Now, this was all taken from like Primark's website or like Wikipedia and stuff like that. So the founder of Primark, or Penneys because it is an Irish brand, was Arthur Ryan, and he founded Penneys in 1969 on Mary Street in Dublin, with the goal of bringing affordability clothing to Ireland. And to this day, Ireland has 36 stores, which is no longer its like biggest market. In 1971, a Belfast store opened, which, depending on what side of the debate you are, I'm not going into that, whether that's Ireland or part of the UK. And then in 1973, international expansion happened, with the first UK store being in Derby. And today, the UK has 91 stores, making it its largest market. Would say. So it started off as Penneys in Ireland, and then it was changed to Primark in the UK because the American retailer J.C. Penney, which is a department store in the US, has the right to use that name in the region of the UK. UK is where I'm based, and Primark was born since then, and it is it's the name that is adopted in all international parts of the business around the world today. So you might think that Primark is a UK brand, but it was originally established in Ireland, so it's important to note that, and it's called Penneys in Ireland, and I have been in a Penneys in Dublin. In 2006, the first store on the continent opened in Madrid, and now there is 55 total stores in Spain. And then in 2007, in the April, they opened their first store on Oxford Street in the Old Alders. I'm talking Oxford Street in London. In the Old Alders, which was a department store, which is defunct now, at the Marble Arch end of Oxford Street. Now, I could not find footage of this, and I'll put in like the little footage there is of opening day, because it was manic. And I actually went. This was way back in 2007. I went with my mum. I think I must have been at school or something. I stood in the queue for like 3 hours to get into the Primark on opening day. Why did I do that? There was not a Primark near me at the time. The one in Bletchley and Milton Keynes did not exist. So yeah, I stood in the queue for that time to get in. There is, and when it was like broadcast, because I remember it being on like BBC News and stuff like that, there was a clip. They went round the store, because it was literally round to the back of the store, which is where I first started getting in the queue, in like the block behind, and they did like a swoop of the television camera, and I was on BBC News. But I cannot find that clip anywhere. It's not on BBC News. It is from 2007, so that is quite a long time ago these days. But yeah, that is what happened, and since then there is now a store at the other end of Oxford Street, Tottenham Court Road end, so it kind of bookends the street. And then in 2008 they opened their first store in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, and there is now 20 stores in the Netherlands. And then through that they continued to expand in Europe, in other places, so like France and stuff like that. And then in 2015 they opened their first store in America, in Boston, which is on the East Coast, and they currently have 13 stores in America. And then in 2019 they opened the world's largest Primark in Birmingham, UK, which has 5 floors and over 160,000 square foot. So since they first opened their stores, they're now in 14 markets across the globe, majority in Europe, and then you've got America, and the announcement of Romania in 2020 makes it 14. So there we go, we have like a history of Primark, where they started, where they are now, from their Penneys in Dublin, which I believe it might not be the original store, but it's definitely expanded. It's still on that street. There is still a store in Dublin, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I might have been in it. And then what it is today, where they've just announced the opening of in Romania this year. So as we are on YouTube, I wanted to talk about how Primark has gained popularity, I suppose, through this platform, and the rise of the Primark haul, and the rise later of the Primark Come Shop With Me, which I do partake in. So way back when I first started watching YouTube back in the day, when I was at school, I think, so probably like 15, 16, that kind of age range, before I had a channel. I think I actually do remember watching the first Primark haul that I can remember was Louise Sprinkle of Glitter, or Louise Pentland, back in the day, when, like, way back in the day, this was before like Baby Glitter back then, now her daughter. But yeah, the first one I could come across and kind of pioneered this was Zoella, or Zoe Sugg, and I could find her first one, I believe, that is still live on her channel potentially, is from August 2011, I think. Probably there was one sooner than that, but that's the first one, and I think she was kind of a forefronter in the Primark haul kind of realm. And my actual first Primark haul that I did was in June 2011, so she must have done some before that, but they aren't on her channel for whatever reason anymore. But I think the craze really grew in popularity between the golden ages of YouTube, in my opinion, between 2013 and 2016, the golden age, when you had like the Brick Crew and stuff like that. And it's still going strong to this day, and it's probably, I'm not on TikTok, but it's probably on TikTok. We know we had the rise of like the massive Shein hauls on TikTok, which there's a big ethical thing around that, isn't there? But yeah, so the it's still going strong to this day with people doing them, especially the cost of living crisis and the affordability of their clothes. Since the haul, we have developed a genre of like Come Shop With Me's, which weren't really a thing. They weren't too much of a thing, but they're much more of a thing now these days. That has developed over time, and they're still going strong. We can also not forget the guys that do YouTube hauls and things like that. My first one was in 2011, and I'm still doing them today, and we still have a plethora of people of doing those. But I think, in my opinion, one of the reasons Primark gained in popularity could have been to do with this, because of the popularity of the videos. I mean, they used to gain millions, especially with like Zoella and stuff, and it definitely gave people a different view from Primark, because it would have just been, back in the day, it was fashion stuff, but it was just cheap and affordable, and they definitely grew what they wanted, and it could be a potential reason why Primark expanded in the US, because you had people like YouTube, the Brit Crew, and like British like Zoella and stuff reached such a big audience other than the UK, and the US people were like, what is this Primark? So it could made the brand of Primark global, and the US people were intrigued in the brand. So like we have Kerry Dayton and stuff, who if you don't watch her, go watch her. She does lots of come shop with me try on videos, and she came to the UK, I can't remember exactly when it was, like 2016, 17, 18 maybe, and like one of her videos that she did was going into Primark and the excitement that you could see on her face doing that. And also the power of YouTube has been that some creators from the platform have done collaborations with Primark, like I believe Saffron Barker did a collaboration, and also Gabriella Lindley, I think that's how you say her name, Velvet Ghost, stuff like that. So you can see Primark knows that YouTube is a good source of advertising, especially as they don't do mainstream advertising. You only have like, and this is something that they've kind of been proud of, they don't do like the television ads and things like that, or traditional media advertising. It's definitely through Instagram and things like that. These days they're advertising, so more word of mouth, which is one of the reasons why they can keep their costs low, because they don't do that promotion. We can't talk about Primark without having a look into ethics. It is like the cheapest brand on the high street, and they've always been so cheap. But how do they do it? So Primark says, and I'm going to read something now, so let's try and do it properly. They say, so Primark says, we want to make products that last so they can be worn and loved for even longer by our customers, or handed down, resold or recycled. And we want to play a prominent role in driving industry level transformation. The ambition of Primark Cares, which is a new thing that they launched, is to make a more sustainable fashion affordable for all, and show that our amazing prices don't have to come at high costs to the planet or the people who make our clothes. And they've developed 9 commitments, which I'm just going to read through. So the 9 commitments are to halve their carbon footprint, to eliminate non-clothing waste, to restore biodiversity, improve health and well-being, which I think is to do with the people who make their clothes, promote equal opportunities for women, create financial resilience, clothes made with recycled fibres or from, that's probably clothes made of recycled fibres, there we go, clothes that can be recycled, and then affordable clothes that are designed to last. So that's kind of their take on their ethic. You can't talk about the ethics of Primark without talking about the Dakar factory collapse in 2013. Now I know this wasn't solely Primark, but it was found that they were one of the suppliers that they were making clothes for. So in 2013 it was a bit of a wake-up call for the public in terms of to the fast fashion industry and what the human cost can be, because in 2013 in Dhaka in Bangladesh, an 8-storey commercial building collapsed and over 1,130 people died, and it was considered the deadliest non-deliberate structural failure accident in modern history. So that is quite something really, isn't it? So how the collapse of the building came about was that the building owners ignored warnings to avoid using the building after cracks appeared the day before the garment workers were ordered to return the following day. So I believe that the lower ground floor was like banks and businesses like that, and the whole building was given like warnings of these cracks, and the bottom floor evacuated, but the next like upper floors decided after those warnings that they still wanted the workers to come in, and the building collapsed during the morning rush. And the building housed a number of separate garment factories within it, employing around 5,000 people, manufacturing clothes from like fast fashion brands, so like Matalan, Primark, Walmart, Mango, up to like more middle of range brands like Benetton, and then up to higher end brands like Prada and Gucci and Versace. So yeah, so it's not only fast fashion brands that use these type of factories, but yeah, so I just wanted to highlight that, and this is all from a source Wikipedia basically. So the upper floors, according to Wikipedia, were built without a permit, and that the building was planned for just shops and offices and not factories. And the architects stress that the structure was potentially not strong enough to bear the weight of the weight and vibrations of heavy machinery, which was highly likely, allegedly, a contributing factor to the collapse. So the decision by managers to send workers back into the factories was partly due to the pressures to complete and fulfill orders on time, putting partial responsibility for the disaster on the short production deadlines preferred by the buyers of fast fashion. So yeah, this was definitely a wake-up call from the industry, in my opinion. And yeah, so we can see that was in 2013, and the thing I read out earlier from the Primark website has come later than that. So that is now. But yeah, it definitely, you question how, in my opinion, you question how you can make these items so cheap. So I'm going to move on from that. You can make up your own decisions on that and read your sources around that. But the next thing I want to discuss is the reluctance to go online. Now, this was highly prominent in the pandemic when, during lockdowns, shops and non-essential businesses were, like non-essential retailers were shut. So Primark, not being online, was a non-essential retailer and had to close for the initial lockdown. I don't know about lockdowns where you live outside the UK, but we had 3 lockdowns in the UK. One from like March, literally the week of my birthday, up until like, when was it, like June, July time, there was a lockdown. And then we went back into lockdown. That was in 2020. We then went back in lockdown for a month in November. And then after Christmas, we went in lockdown, like, I think it was nearly literally straight after Christmas, in 2021 up until March, April time. So we had 3 lockdowns. That was 3 times that Primark was unable to open, and I obviously lost business because of that. So in January 2001, as I said, the UK was in its first lockdown due to the pandemic. And despite this, the BBC reported that Primark says it has no plans to sell online, despite warnings that lockdown store closures could cost more than £1 billion to its sales in the company. However, in April 2022, so moving on a year, Primark unveiled a new website where shoppers can check the availability of stock in its stores, and the Retail Gazette reports that, which Primark says the website is meant to better connect the journey between searching online and then shopping in store. So it's meant to be enhancing the in-store experience. However, I tweeted Primark a while ago, because if you've watched any of my recent Primark videos, I do love their mango diffuser, which seems to be discontinued, and I rave about that. So Primark tweeted a picture of this and saying something about, I don't know, homeware, Steiner stuff, and I tweeted back to them saying, but I cannot find this item in any of the stores that I go in. And when I had been in one of those stores, it was actually on sale. I found the last one and it was on sale. And they tweeted me back saying I should check the stock checker on their website to find out where the products are and in the store. However, when I went onto the website, went into the home section, went into diffusers, that product was nowhere to be found. So I'm not sure how great it is, in my opinion, and I would love to hear your thoughts on that down below. So this brings me to the future of Primark, and what do you think is going to happen? With this bit, I'm just going to leave you with a few questions, I think. Can Primark continue to ride the not online phase? Are they eventually going to have to buckle into the trend and go online? Because I can't think of really another business that doesn't. Does Poundland now? At the time, Poundland didn't, but I can't think of another business that doesn't sell online, really, apart from local independent ones. Will the cost of living crisis that we're having at the moment make it more expensive to shop in Primark? Will their prices go up? I know other places are going up as well, and it's still comparatively the cheapest place to shop on the high street in terms of a major brand. So in your opinion, do you think that is going to contribute, and will people want to be buying clothes all the time, or will it bring more people into buying Primark clothes because of the affordability factor and other prices going up? and then what your thoughts about the ethics of Primark, in terms of sustainability, in terms of ethics, in terms of factory conditions, in pricing and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know your thoughts down below on anything we talked about today in this Primark video. I thought it was quite an interesting one to look at. Primark is a brand that I do gravitate towards, always have for since I was introduced to it probably in year 8. So what would you have been then, like 12, 13? My sister introduced it to me back before it was like the big popular brand that we know today. It still was a big brand, obviously, but yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and if you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up, because that will help me to determine to do more videos like this in the future. It's something I like to research about, and then filming a video of it is really good as well. So yeah, let me know down below. If you're not already, please take a moment to subscribe and ring my bell to be notified of my video. We do videos like this. Hopefully they do take a lot more time to research and stuff, but we do videos like this, and also come shop with me around, particularly Primark, we do once a month. H&M, Zara and Bicester Village, as well as other places, and hauls if I buy anything from those places, as well as grocery hauls, to-go bags, vlogs, style videos. So if that is your jam, then take a moment to subscribe to my channel and ring my bell to be notified, and also follow my Instagrams down below as well. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.